You're listening to the AfterBuzz TV network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Keith Johnson.
From the AfterBuzz Studios in Los Angeles, California, presented by Maria Menounos and Bing.com, and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies. This is AfterBuzz TV's America's Got Talent After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AfterBuzz TV's America's Got Talent After Show.
Hey guys, Bing is for doing, and we are doing our after show for America's Got Talent. We are at the top 12 finalists tonight, so it was a phenomenal show. And I am Kaori Takee, and across the way, I've got Lucy Daniel Weiss.
Daniel Weiss, and this is a bumblebee butt.
It is. And next to your bumblebee butt is another bumblebee butt. And behind the bumblebee butt is...
Actually, I'm all honey. Remember that. But where does honey come from? Bumblebees. I'm Kevin John. And I'm honored here to be sitting next to Eminem and 8 Mile.
You're
So,
welcome. I gotta go
word.
to work. I can't be a rapper.
Oh,
Peace. Worst ending of a movie ever. Guys, I don't think
much
I
of that
like
movie.
this.
What don't you like?
Having to do this. I gotta do this to look at Corey. I gotta do this to look at Kevin. For those of you
So
listening,
look at the
you
camera
can't
and
tell
talk
what we're
to
talking
your audience.
about. Hi, audience.
I have a
Okay.
good idea.
How are you doing today? We'd like to know what you guys are thinking.
Yes, guys, we are in Studio B. We got punished for our shortest
speed
AfterBuzz show.
round.
No, we really didn't. We really
Last
didn't.
week
But
we
I know
like
you
these-
guys love that.
We
last
do like these bumblebee
Well, some
mics,
of
so
you.
that is what
Right.
happened.
Last week we did the show Bone Thug style.
Yeah.
Yes.
Which means that we were speaking at a very rapid, high pace to get through it. Actually, more like Twista style, but yeah.
If you don't know what we're talking about because you didn't listen last week, go back and listen. It's literally 13 minutes long.
It's pretty awesome.
I'm gonna miss everybody.
Well,
I gotta
guys,
say about it.
12 finalists. It was a pretty good show.
Yes.
Yes, and let's just wrap them through. We've got Chicago Boys.
In 12 minutes?
Not 12
No.
minutes.
Not 12, okay.
13.
The audience wants more, so we will give them more.
Are you not entertained?
You know?
Let's talk about Chicago Boys.
So, Chicago Boys, what do you guys think?
They were good. I thought it was scary for me because they messed up a couple times right in the
So
beginning.
you were scared?
I was scared for them because this is the semifinals and next week's the
I love how
finals.
Kevin is fixing his shirt while
It's cold down.
Don't worry about what Kevin's doing. You're always pointing out
I
what
am
Kevin's doing. Kevin's wearing basketball shorts under the desk. Kevin's fixing his shirt. Kevin is staring down a rifle.
Well, Daniel,
What?
Daniel, are you jealous that Kaori is observing me and everything that I'm doing?
I'm jealous that she notices I'm here at all.
that doesn't even make sense.
Don't
Yeah.
worry
So
about it.
Chicago Boys,
Chicago
fellas,
Boy- the
you were frightened for
Chicago
some
Boys.
reason because they briefly messed up a couple times.
Yes. But I thought at the end it was really cool when they all made like a pyramid and were jumping rope. That was cool. Other than that, I thought it was okay. I can see them not going through. Kevin,
I love Chicago Boys. I love what they stand for.
stop banging the table.
love-
There's a microphone on
I'm
it.
sorry. I'm intense, and there's a padding underneath the microphone.
Ooh, ooh.
Now that's called
See,
banging.
that doesn't
So-
sound good.
Now, I loved the Chicago Boys. Like I said, I think they're incredibly talented. Tonight's performance was not indicative of their talent. They did have a few mess up, which is, unlike them because they're always so precise on everything and clean. But so I would like to see them go through, but unfortunately, tonight's performance may have just cost them.
Well, even if they did good, their type of performance, I think there are other performances that were better and exceeded this performance. So
I agree.
They're all right. They're pretty good. It's just not a night for them to go forward, I think. Brandon James, guys. Another guy that I don't think will move forward because he's an opera singer who looks like Matthew Perry. And there's another group of opera singers that will probably do better. Brandon James, guys. What do you guys think of his music? I mean, it's good, but I wouldn't.
I think that he would be good in a Broadway show. I think he's good. It was a little boring. I don't think that it was the. This is what I say, and I said this while watching, and I'll be completely honest. I don't think that it was the best song choice for that. It wasn't an upper. I don't think at this point that was as powerful a song. However, it was smart because the people in the Midwest like the Hallelujah Christian-y thing. But then again, I feel like the people that like the, really Jesus thing might not like him because he's gay.
Hold up.
I'm being honest.
Christians don't dislike gays.
Midwest.
Okay.
Catholics.
I think it's not about.
I don't know. I'm
all
Jewish.
That.
I don't know anything about
the fact
anything.
that Forte is right after them. I mean, the fact that Forte is also in this episode means that Brandon James, they're gonna wipe him out.
I wanted one of the judges I wanted them to say it at least once to whoever. I wanted them to say, "You were really good, but Forte's gonna win, so it doesn't matter. But you were good."
Yeah.
Brandon James, great talent, but I think Daniel hit it down on the doorknob where I can see Brandon is 565,600 minutes. And do you measure? In other words, I could see him on Broadway doing such renditions as that one from Rent and singing. He has an illustrious career ahead on Broadway, but in this competition against 3 people named Forte, he doesn't stand a chance.
Yeah, I agree. And the group that I think stands the least chance of going through Innovative Force. I mean, let's be real with our audience. We weren't able to pay much attention. We ended up talking
Daniel's
about
laughing at
Nickelodeon shows.
Right? We want to know what your favorite Nickelodeon cartoon is.
Yes,
I
we
did
do.
challenge them to stump me on any 90s Nickelodeon show while we were doing that. So let's put this challenge out there. If you can go on the message boards right now while you're watching and try
Or
to
listening.
stump me by describing a Nickelodeon show from the 90s, anywhere in the 90s, and I can't name it, then you will win the chance to watch a free episode of AfterBuzz TV next week. So go on the message boards and try to stump me on a 90s Nickelodeon show.
And the conversation started because Innovative Force started on what looked like an aggro crack.
Correct.
And that is how the conversation started. And while you guys are out there trying to give Daniel a stump, you guys can stop over at iTunes.
Yes.
And rate,
That's correct.
comment, let us know what you think of America's Got Talent. Let us know what you think about AfterBuzz and this show. Let us know what you like, dislike, comment. Let's keep the conversation going. And while you're there, stop over, check out Serial Buddies. You can rent or purchase it. All-Star Cast. Check it out.
Are you on the message
Boom.
board?
I am not on the message board right now.
Get on the message board.
Are you talking about the chat?
Yes.
Yes.
That's what I mean, the chat board.
Because message board, I do not do that.
I didn't know there was a message board. Go to the chat board and try to stump me. Let's go on to Kristoff Brothers, correct?
Yes, very nice. Kristoff Brothers, I know you like them.
Yes.
They're very humorous. They're an acrobat team that actually, they have a nice gimmick.
Yes.
They're catchy. They're fun. They're entertaining.
Yeah, they were really funny tonight. I think that tonight they went more for comedy than they did acrobatics, but I think it worked because
Hey, you.
we've
not
always
allowed.
seen acrobatics from them, like more acrobatics with some comedy. Tonight it was comedy with a little less acrobatic. It was a little slower than normal, but it was really funny, and I just think it showed their range. I could watch an entire hour show of theirs because
But
they're going to
see,
put bits in it and do skits, sketches.
I think they're great, and I do think that they might go through. But what bothers me about them is I feel like every week I've been seeing them do the same kind of stunts, just with different visuals. So I'm not too impressed with them. I'm just kind of like, they're great, but I want to see kind of more of the meat of the acrobat itself.
You just want to see their meat. We get it.
Of course.
Well, they were definitely exposing that and then some. Here's my take on Kristoff Brothers. You know, if LMFAO were professional contortionists, this is exactly what you would get. I like the fact that they bring something new, because when you see most acrobats or contortionists, they're so serious. You know, it's such a serious art, and you have to bend and do all this. And I like that they have a playful sense of humor, and they incorporate that into it. So it's creative and it's innovative. I like that. As far as tonight is concerned, I do think it went a little slow. I like the fact they were going for comedy, because, like I said, that's one of the things that makes them great. But I just feel that they put too much of an emphasis on comedy tonight and less of acrobatics, which is what they do the best. Is contortionism. That's what they do the best, not comedy. Now they're still funny, but I just feel that they put too much emphasis on comedy, and that you lost some of that.
I completely agree. I think the best thing I've seen them do was when he flipped him backwards, and they did this crazy thing, and they did that
insane.
a couple weeks ago, and since then they haven't topped that.
Well,
so.
I thought that it was awesome when the blonde guy was laying down, the buff Steve-O got on his head, and then he lifted him up while standing up. Like, he stood up while lifting Steve-O on him. So
I mean, that takes a
thought
lot
that
of
was
strength
awesome.
and talent. And we're not sure if they messed up at the very, very end.
Right. But it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
Heidi Klum got it right there for once.
Sure.
All right, guys. D'Angelo and Amanda, they're actually extremely talented. This couple can dance. I would love to see how good they're going to be in 5 years, because they're, 13 and 12.
Well, you get to see them because they're going to come back every year. Whoa.
That was hilarious.
That
was hilarious, guys.
It wasn't that funny, to be honest with you. No
Look,
offense.
I'm very funny.
Well,
that was funny, because they're back like every year. So
their family.
I understood the implication behind the joke. I thought it was
So,
funny.
kids, what are we going to do for our Vegas vacation this year?
But no, they're really good, and they're better than a lot of Dancing with the Stars pros, like I was telling you when we were watching it. But I don't think that a dance group. It's just two people dancing, and how they're gonna fill an hour show.
Right, they
in
were
Vegas.
good, but I think they're done. I think this was their last week, which isn't bad considering there's only one more week.
And didn't you mention that you thought she was a little too provocative?
Yes, she came out wearing this, like, it wasn't skimpy like a bikini, but she was wearing this flapper dress, and she's, 11, 12, maybe 13?
Mm-hmm.
It was way too sexy for somebody that age, and she's kicking her leg up in the air wearing a dress.
Somewhere R. Kelly was at home very excited with what he saw.
I don't see nothing wrong with a little girl who's 9.
Oh, my mind's
Oh, you guys are awful.
That wasn't mine. I did not come up with that
Awful,
joke. I have
awful.
to say that.
Okay, well, you
Catapult.
Good, very good.
Catapult. They were great. Their story was great.
Two performances ago, phenomenal. Second one, meh. This one, phenomenal again. I liked it. It was a bullying thing, and they had a doggy, and that's the best thing ever. Is they had a doggy shadow.
It was
a dog
little
that looked like a human.
Right.
But-
Well, that's what it was.
The second time the dog came out, I think they messed up a little bit. She didn't put her ears up, so we couldn't.
I
Really
couldn't tell
if
what.
she
I thought
a
it was a
dog.
girl at first, and I was
Right.
like, "What is she
Then
doing?"
you saw
And
the
then-
tongue, quote
Yeah.
unquote.
But it was a nice story. I thought the song went well with it. I thought it was good. I liked it.
And that's the thing I'll say about Catapult Entertainment is they tell really, really good stories. The story before that they had a couple of episodes ago when they were doing the high school graduation. And if you get any closer to my microphone, I'm going to shove this pen up your nostril.
I'm letting this
To
happen.
the point where you
I
cannot
am
talk
letting
anymore.
this happen.
This is the most. I feel like I'm invaded here. My microphone feels invaded.
Invasion of the Daniel
My
Snatcher.
microphone's telling me
Yeah.
no.
Yeah.
But my brother.
So,
Eminem, stay on your microphone.
Catapult.
Telling me
So Catapult, I think most importantly, the thing that's going to resonate in the hearts of America tonight is not just the phenomenal show, but the story they were telling, especially because bullying is so prevalent in so many areas in the nation. People are encountering it and just, having to deal and cope with it.
Yeah,
So.
I really liked their performance, and I thought it was very, all the tricks and the ways they did the shadow was pretty cool. But I got lost in the story towards the very, very end. I didn't understand how the
I
dog
agree.
healed everything.
Yeah, I agree.
Friendship.
Yeah, so.
So, moral of the story is if you're getting bullied, get a dog.
Get a dog. They do help. They are the best thing ever.
Cats are the best ever.
No.
Dogs.
You're a cat man? Boo.
I love cats. Love cats. Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh, Whatever.
Our
How
engineer
about
Marissa
marmosets?
agrees.
I love some dogs.
Do we feel about marmosets?
Stop trying to be all smart, okay?
I don't know what they
Okay,
are.
and I'm excited for the next group. For you to say.
Forte! You stood up for that, Daniel.
I absolutely did. I love Forte.
Who doesn't love
Here's
Forte?
what I'll say about it. Last week, I thought it was a little more powerful the way they started in the dark, and then
they came
the
out
third
and it was
guy came
boom.
out and hit it. But this still was amazing. They sang Celine Dion's song from Titanic.
My Heart Will Go On.
My Heart Will Go On. They did it in Italian. It was powerful. At the end, their harmonization was just incredible. I thought they were great. They got a standing ovation, and then they got Howie and Howard doing the Titanic thing.
Yeah.
It was fantastic.
Whatever happens, they
To
better
predictability,
get.
Milkman, Paperboy.
Well, whatever happens, they better get a CD because I'm going to buy that CD.
Of course they
no matter
will.
what happens.
Oh.
These guys make opera interesting.
Right.
And they put the pop in opera. They really do.
They pick great songs.
How do you know this song by heart?
Do you want to know
I'm
the
a
answer?
little
Okay.
puzzled.
Do you
Was
want
I
to
the
know the
only
answer?
15-year-old black kid that had that Celine Dion album?
Yes.
Yes, you were,
actually,
yes.
Maybe I was. But
Hold
that's
on.
not the point.
Hold
all
on.
right?
Let me call a couple and ask them.
So what did you think? While
No?
we give the
Okay.
call?
No? All right. You did. Oh, wait, no, you didn't. Okay.
Or whatever. All right. He's not calling anyone,
No.
by the way. That's a fake. And if he was calling
His phone is
15
fake. He
if
has
was
no
calling
friends to make phone
15-year-olds
calls.
right now at 11-something, that'd be a little creepy.
No,
All
they're
right.
not 15-year-olds now.
Oh, sorry.
Kevin,
What?
Forte, like, dislike.
Forte.
Forte. Oh my gosh. I'm speechless.
Yeah.
Forte is what you did to me. You just allowed me to give you a 1-second moment of silence because that's what you guys are.
Not
You're
dead.
phenomenal. I know, right? They're phenomenal. They're phenomenal. They're great, and I can't wait to see. I can't wait to see them in the finals.
Yeah, they're gonna make it to the finals.
You know, but Forte, that's what I want you guys to do. You always do like
Dude,
a
Listen up,
classic.
Forte. Listen
You
up.
Always, yeah. I'm gonna tell you how to win the competition, Forte.
Do booty next
You
time.
always
No.
That is how you have definitely fell.
No.
You always do like a classic movie theme song. Always. And I understand because you like doing those theme songs because everyone loves them. They're like, you know, they're in pop culture. But the way for you to win is you
To
can't
do the Ghostbusters theme next week.
No.
I wasn't thinking that. Well,
that would be
good.
phenomenal, though.
What you guys need to do is do the theme song from the movie Friday. Ice Cube, Chris Tucker. It's called "Keep Their Heads Ringing" by Dr. Dre.
Ring
I just-
ding dong.
That would be
Ring-a-ding
crazy,
ding
actually.
And see,
dong.
they can harmonize that.
Ring ding dong.
You guys are not
Ring
Forte.
ding ding dong.
You do not have a third member because I will not
Hey, you sitting
participate.
over there.
How come every time I come in the kitchen, you in the kitchen, in the damn refrigerator, eating
Eat
up
up
all the food, all the hog,
They
all
should
the
sing all
hog
that. They
balls.
should sing all of that.
Yeah.
I know that movie by heart.
Exactly.
That
See?
is
Thank you.
literally.
I think you want a cookie.
That is my.
Unfortunately, I haven't baked
literally
any.
my favorite. You still owe me 2 cupcakes. Anybody on the
I
chat?
think
Yes.
Daniel endorses my decision.
I
Did
will bring
anybody trying
cupcakes
to- anybody
next
trying to
week
sell
for the finale. If you guys dress dapper, I want to see some tux.
I'm a
boys.
dapper damn
Really
man.
do. All right, guys. Taylor Williams. Is it Williamson? I wrote Williamson. And
Williamson,
I realized I'm not
yes.
sure if it's okay. So Taylor's, did you guys like his comedic performance this time around?
I think he was funnier before. I think his routine tonight wasn't incredibly funny, but this is the thing I always say with Taylor. Even though his routines aren't the funniest to me, he is. He is freaking hilarious. He has a great character, and I can see him going far in the comedic world, but some of his material or routines I'm not the biggest of, but I'm a big fan of him as a comic, if that makes sense at all.
It made no sense, but it made a lot of
Perfect.
sense.
That's
so
what I was going
fine.
for.
I think that he's funny, but I'm laughing at him. I'm not laughing at his jokes. His jokes aren't really
Exactly.
that funny.
Exactly.
So,
Even
Yeah.
though the cousins marrying was slightly funny. Go ahead.
Well, I'm
that wasn't
definitely.
a joke. It was the way his delivery is funny.
Yeah.
I am definitely a Taylor. I think he's hilarious. I think his jokes are really funny. I was cracking up. I think he's a funny person, and that's part of it. He can deliver them. That's part of the joke.
Yeah.
And I thought his stuff was funny. I enjoyed it. I would see his full act. The thing that I said, and Kevin said something interesting to that, is I said it's tough because he's a really good comedian, but is a comedian going to go to the end? With all the other acts that could be better than comedy in general. And then I think Kevin or Corey said, I don't pay attention to who it's coming from. I just
Because we both look alike.
Yeah, we look so alike.
We do.
But I heard somebody
That sounded
say,
like
both
Muppet.
of you both are Muppets to me.
You are
I
the
heard-
worst co-host ever. Veto.
I'm the worst
Worst
co-host
looking.
ever. You
Yeah.
both are talking over me. So who's the worst co-host? And now, somebody said maybe he will go through because he's comedy and he is something different, and they need that category.
That was
So
me.
that could be correct too. Yeah, I know. You said, but I think that he was really good, and I think he'll definitely go through, and he definitely has a career in stand-up.
No, absolutely. He does have a career in stand-up, but like you said, of all these other acts, we're not going to send him as the winner, probably.
I don't think he's going to
Probably.
be the winner. I don't think he's going to be top 3, but I think he can get through to next
But
week.
he'll go. Yeah, he'll go.
Yeah.
Possibly.
What
Possibly.
what do you guys think of Collins Key? He sometimes, a lot of people think he comes off as a tool.
I think he's a young
think
kid
he's
who's
fine.
trying to bring, a new.
This is my problem with Colin.
All
Go ahead.
right. No, I'm good.
You're like, this is my problem with Colin. Go ahead.
This is my problem with Colin. Go ahead.
John, Kevin,
Go ahead.
Kevin, John, you go ahead.
Kevin John, do you have
Go.
something you'd like to tell us?
Thanks. Thank you, Daniel. How
You're
polite
welcome.
of you. This is my problem with Colin. Colin does not, and something that you can see from a lot of the aforementioned entertainers that we talk about, they have a good time when they perform. Colin, to me, doesn't look like he's really enjoying it out there. He's like a robot out there. All right, so this is what I'm going to do for my trick. What do you have in that bag? Okay, what time do you have on there? It's like he has no kind of connection, or doesn't really look like he's having fun, or he's lacking charisma. A lot of those things. He's just like,
I think he does have charisma, though. I think that's his shtick, is being this stickler. Does that make sense?
No.
Yes, it does make sense. I always make sense, okay? But I do think that his tricks are always kind of on the similar thing. It's never a different kind of trick. He's using the same kind of gimmick, but using different tools to express that trick, which is mind reading.
It's not. It's the power of suggestion.
Yeah.
Is what it is. But this is what I felt about his trick. I thought.
so this is the problem with Colin. Oh,
Yep.
go ahead.
That's fine.
I'm
Right now, Kevin is
I'm
wearing a tuxedo printed G-string under the table. I just want you all to know that.
It's true.
So that
it's
explains why you keep
true.
rubbing on my leg,
Anyway.
Daniel.
My hands have been up here the whole time.
No, your legs
So-
are rubbing on mine.
That is correct, yes. Here's what I think about Colin Key's trick tonight. I'll destroy you, Kevin. I will destroy you and everything you believe in. I feel that Colin's trick tonight was okay. He obviously knew where the Nick's watch was and made sure that that's the one he didn't destroy.
Agreed.
And what they do is if they say, he says pick 1 or 2. If he wants them to pick 2 and they pick 2, that's when he hits. If he wants them to pick 1 and they pick 2, he goes okay, and he puts that one aside. So he's just gonna make sure that he gets that bag. But what saved the trick for me was that he adjusted the time exactly on Nick's watch that Howie had. And even with, obviously the judges could be in on it, but we have to give them the benefit of the doubt
No,
that
they
they're
weren't
not.
in on it.
So them doing the whole thing where Mel B got it wrong at first and she couldn't tell, and then finally it comes out and it's the exact time. That to me was the trick.
How about
And
the
that
Mel
was
B
cool.
could not read the watch?
There's a lot of pressure there.
But yeah, it was cool. I would love to see a magic show go through because I really like magic and I want to see
Yeah.
something happen. But it's starting to get old a little bit.
It is.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's unfortunate. But
Should we move on to
what's not getting old is Kenichi Ibina. So, he talks about how he doesn't express much. And I say it's because he's Japanese. Japanese people don't express much.
Racist.
No, I can say that. My father's Japanese, and he doesn't express much either. And I've lived in Japan, so I know what it's like. Boom.
Have you ever lived in Africa?
Do they not express much?
No, I just wanted to know if you've ever lived in Africa.
Anyway, so no, I have not. I would love to go visit though. Anyway, so
I saw the rain down in Africa.
Kenichi
That may
decides-
be the lyrics.
Kenichi decides, okay, I need to be expressive. So this performance of his focuses more on being expressive and emotional rather than with props and things like that. What did you think of it? He had a heart attack, and he went to heaven.
First of all,
And
big
danced.
big ups. I know that sometimes we ridicule Hailey on here for her Heidi, whatever.
Hailey.
He said ridicule too.
Don't worry. Look,
It's
Kevin's
11:30 at night. I'm out of it. I have freaking Daniel right here
Hi.
next to me. That's just
You're welcome.
rubbing on my leg underneath the
I'm
table. so
distracting
it's
you with my
hard.
amazingly
Well, that's what you
good
get
looks.
for wearing a G-string underneath there.
Well, Kaori, you're gonna act like you're
And-
with the one that told me to do it for you.
Also,
Come on.
I have to point out that under the table, Corey is wearing the bottom half of a dog costume.
I am
Yes.
not, but I would. Probably
She works
really
at
comfortable.
Wiener Schnitzel during the day. All right. So, anyways, I have no idea where that came from. So Kenichi, you know.
I'm dying.
Anyways, what was I gonna say? Yeah. I know that sometimes we, are very critical of Heidi, but I had to give it to her because she was actually the one that figured out this particular performance, and I didn't see it initially, but where Kenichi apparently was going through an emotional breakdown, and he died, and then he went to heaven. I didn't catch that. Heidi did. Big ups to you, Heidi.
Yes.
That was the third time he said big ups to you, but cool.
Big ups. But
We pick on each other
But
here.
the thing is with Kenichi, and I'm gonna say this real quick, kind of like we talked about earlier with the Kristoff brothers, how they just pulled back a little bit and just did some comedy. I feel the thing with Kenichi is he pulled back a little bit as well, and he just stuck to something. It was a lot simpler this time.
And how'd you guys feel about him being a lot simpler? I know we were maybe a tinge disappointed.
I was disappointed at first, but then if you step back, yes, it was simpler, but it still was awesome.
Exactly.
I thought it was great. It had a great story. It showed the emotions that he wanted to show.
Yeah.
And I did say while he was doing it, if he flies, he's taking it. I was like, if this man starts flying, he's going to win the whole thing.
He did say
and then
that
he
too.
started
That's true.
flying.
That is
And I
true.
will say, he did it with the slow strobe light
the
on.
Flashing light.
So it
flashing.
made it a little tougher to see it, but I have a feeling that live it was amazing.
Yeah, I agree. And I think the fact that he did something a lot slower and more emotional, it really shows the brand, like his brand and how broad he
Right.
can make his performances. Which
It
is great.
shows his range, and it does feel like a show.
Yeah.
He started like if you think about everything he's done, his first act was a really simple dance, and then he came out with the video of the video game, and then dancing with himself and fighting himself, and then having a heart attack and going to heaven. His entire stay on this show has been evolving and going through an entire show.
Yeah, I wonder what he's gonna do next.
It's gonna
'Cause
be
he's gonna come
incredible.
He might take it all. For me, it's between him and
Yes.
Forte.
I agree.
And I do think that the next one, Jimmy Rose, is not gonna make it far.
Daniel's favorite act of the night.
Oh, Jimmy Rose is so good.
No, not so much.
You said that like a redneck.
Honestly, I don't have anything to say about Jimmy Rose other than no.
What? Look, he's a country singer. He sings country songs. He's fine at it. If he was on, CMT's The Voice, he'd probably go
Is
pretty
there a
far on it.
CMT's The Voice?
I don't know. I don't watch
So
CMT.
why are you making things up?
I'm saying
Huh?
if he was on the
'Cause that's what
country
Daniel does.
version
That's true.
of
That
The
is what he
Voice,
does.
he would be good. But for this, I just feel there's a lot better. And that it's the same thing with Innovative Force to me. They're a good cheerleading group, but do you really want a cheerleading group
No.
to win?
No, and that's how I feel about Chicago Boys as well.
Right. They were great, but they're not going to, at this point, only 6 can go through, period. And it's not going to be Well, the Chicago.
Jimmy
I
Rose.
think Jimmy Rose will go through because for
What?
some reason
What?
America loves him.
What do you think?
America always loves a good old country singer. That's without a doubt. And the thing with Jimmy Rose, he has that likability. I'm not particularly thrilled about him, but for what it's worth, he's a great country singer. Now, does that match up to the other talented acts that are on here? In my book, no. But at the end of the day, he's a great country singer. And if America loves a great country singer, they're going to vote him in. And he really needs to get rid of that Marine style crew cut that he has going on.
I
there.
know.
It's like, dude, do something
every
different. Put a,
time I
yeah.
think that too. I'm like, man, that haircut, a little
Yeah,
like
I feel like he's
alfalfa
about to
sprout.
salute me or something, or
No.
you know.
Yeah.
He's a good old boy.
Last act,
just
Cammie
a
Bradley,
good old
another
Born
singer.
and raised in Detroit.
You know, Cammie Bradley is a very good singer, and she has a lot of talent. And I like how she takes music and makes it her own, and she makes it very enjoyable. Her renditions. She sang "Living on a Prayer." Kevin, you did notice that when she stood up, the piano sound was continuing.
Yeah,
She Milli Vanilli.
It really was.
That piano.
she. Very good point.
Blame
she
it
did.
on the keys. Yeah, yeah. Gotta blame it on something. Gotta blame it on something.
So, as you can see, it's karaoke hour
blame
here at
it
the show.
on the rain. It was falling.
But yeah,
falling.
obviously she was playing the keys.
Blame it on the
She
stars
stands up, and then
in
somehow
the
the keys
sky.
are still magically playing.
Yeah.
I did not get
Don't
that. I didn't
put the
understand.
blame on
You know,
I
if you were
blame
going
it
to
on
fake
the
it,
rain.
don't have the keys playing after you get up, because then that makes it seem more.
'Cause
I
the
don't know if
rain
she
don't
purposely was
care.
trying to deceive America, but
The
it's
rain
like
don't mind.
it was really obvious. So.
Yeah, it was. It was.
Unless I
really
missed
honest.
something, it was incredibly obvious.
Yeah, I agree. But she was good.
Hold on, real quick, Daniel, shut up.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Oh my gosh, you shut him up. That was awesome.
Yeah. Well, you don't know what I did to him underneath the table to really shut him up. You know.
That was like, he was like, okay.
Well, good night, everyone.
No. All right, guys, let's predict our top 6 going through for next.
And now, your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
All right, smooth and calmly.
All right,
Predict.
let's all just say the two we know are going through. Forte,
And
Canadian.
catapult. Oh.
Oh,
I agree, actually. Okay, I'll
Yes.
just say my 6. Forte. Brain fart. Forte, Kenichi, Catapult. I put Taylor because I think people love him. Christoph Brothers, and I was debating between Collins Key and Cammie Bradley. I think it might be Cammie Bradley.
Go ahead.
No, you go ahead, Kevin.
No, Daniel, please.
Kevin,
None of this
you
polite
go
thing,
ahead.
just go.
Ladies first.
Okay, then.
Age before beauty, guys.
I think very close or exactly the same to Corey's. I didn't pay attention to her. Christoph Brothers, Forte, Taylor Williams, Kenichi. I think they're going to vote Jimmy Rose through. And then either Cammie Bradley or Collins Key. I think Cammie Bradley. Let's say Cammie Bradley. I will say Cammie Bradley.
All right, next.
Wow, you said that with a lot of emphasis
He
there.
did.
I
right,
did.
All right, mine, obviously Forte, obviously Kenichi, obviously Catapult Entertainment. Now here's where it gets really interesting on who's going through. I got Christoph Brothers, and I have like, you said to pick 6, so that's 4 already. So Christoph Brothers would be 4.
I didn't say to pick 6. AGT said to pick 6.
Whatever. All right. My 5th one would be Cammie Bradley, and my 6th one is gonna be between Jimmy Rose and Taylor Williamson, because I don't know which
I
one.
can see that.
Why?
I can
Jimmy
see them both being a
Rose?
toss-up. Taylor and Jim. Well, obviously.
America loves Jimmy
Exactly.
Rose.
Exactly.
That's what you guys said about Marty Brown, and he thankfully didn't make it through.
But it came down to Marta Brown and Jimmy Rose. Who's Middle America gonna vote for?
Well,
Cole
I guess-
keeps the lights on, Corey.
I guess we'll find out next week. It is going
Cole
to be the
keeps the
finale,
lights on.
and we are going to find out who wins this season. It's going to be very
It's
exciting.
the final AGT.
Yep. And in the meantime, guys, where can our viewers find you?
You
Starting
can
with you.
find me at your local county jail. No, you can find me on Twitter at HeyKevinJohn. You can find me on Facebook, Kevin John Peters. You can find me on Instagram at HeyKevinJohn and on my website, www.itskevinjohn.com.
It's Kevin John, guys.
I said that like a radio
It was
announcer.
Kevin John. All right.
You can find me at on Facebook at Doctor Who Live. You can also find me tonight at 3 in the morning outside Kevin's house, staring in the window. Corey.
That's probably true, but you can find me at KAORIOUS, Kaorius, and I will be at my place playing video games.
And you can find me getting a restraining order against this guy.
It won't work.
And from all of us, AfterBuzz
Yep.
TV.
That's right.
We'll catch you guys
Thanks for
next
watching.
week.
On the flip-flop.
Boom.
From Bing.com, executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.